What's up, guys? Welcome back to day 2 of the WCS America qualifier. We're currently going through the lower bracket to find out who's going to get one step closer to that top 8 spot. Of course, top 8 in this tournament qualify for the premier division of WCS America. So very important matches on our hands. Coming up, we got Rossi versus HwangSin.
That's right. Of course, Rossi, if you guys don't know, he's one of the better players in Australia, Terran player. HwangSin, of course, is a Protoss guy. Used to play for teammates Gosu, Korean player, very good, has had some deep runs in past MLG tournaments. The first map is going to be Whirlwind. Of course, this is a very large map. I personally really like playing this map against Terran because the bigger the map is, the easier it is to put pylons absolutely everywhere and warp cells from every direction. Of course, on the other hand, Terran drop play between the main and the third can hit you so fast. It's very hard to take that third base on this map against Terran.
Picking that third is like such a decision you have to make as Protoss. It's like, all right, do I pick it? Do I pick the one that's kind of closer to my main base, but then drops a little bit later, going to be a little bit scary? Or do I pick one that is more linearly attached to my natural, if that makes any sense? But that's going to be further away from my natural. So it's a hard decision to make. But here we are in game number 1 of this best of 3. In the bottom left-hand location, we have the red Protoss player. We saw him play yesterday against Cats and very narrowly lose, actually, on this map. He is HwangSin. And his opponent in the top right-hand location from Australia. It's early in the morning over there. I wonder if he has any fans waking up early or staying up late to watch him play. He's the blue Terran player, Rossi.
You can see HwangSin coming out with a fairly early scout. This is the scout after Gateway. It's not insanely early, but and especially on a map this big, actually it's probably standard. A lot of times Protoss will either scout very early to try to get him before Terran walls off, or to just won't bother scouting until they send out that Stalker or Mothership Core. Of course, on Whirlwind, you definitely want to scout to at least know where your opponent has spawned.
Yep, and of course you're going to be looking for the timing of the expansion. If you see the command center go down early, you can put down an Nexus of your own a little bit faster. But it looks like HwangSin is going to scout Rossi second here, so it's not like it's too far away, but we'll have to see if he adjusts his build upon seeing this fast command center from his opponent. And if y'all remember that yesterday, this was actually a map where HwangSin played Cats, and HwangSin stayed on 2 bases for a good amount of time. I don't know if it was because he chose to or because he really didn't have another choice, because Cats was playing really abusive style. It was a lot of fun to watch. But we'll have to see if HwangSin goes for some sort of 2-base play, or if he tries to extend it into the late game, maybe goes for you know, a Colossi and then a switch in a High Templar, which is always fun to watch and see how these Protoss players end up doing that. But it all remains to be seen. For now, though, 2 gases in his main base, 2 guys in each gas, going to be spotting that fast natural expansion, trying to take down this SCV, delaying that command center a little bit, but no Nexus back home just yet.
Not quite yet. Of course, he's been saving up minerals, and he's going to get that Nexus before he gets any units, and that's a reaction to the command center first. Of course, he didn't want to do something too crazy, because if you try to go for that Nexus too early without any tech, and your opponent opens Reaper, you can take a ton of damage. So definitely, you know, being ready to get a Stalker or a Mothership Core if needed, but then once he realizes it's not needed, goes ahead, throws down that Nexus, and progresses up to Sentry Tech.
So something Protoss players have been doing that we've been seeing in this tournament is going for just 1 gate and then adding on a Robo pretty fast, getting a relatively fast Mothership Core. Of course, also getting sentries out of your 1 gateway as time goes along. And it's a pretty nice build, and not something you can necessarily do in Wings Liberty because you didn't have that Mothership Core. So we'll have to see if HwangSin does that. No, he's going for a fast Forge. And we'll have to see where he goes with that. Very interesting play so far. Not adding on a Robo just yet.
This is a build that was extremely common right when the game came out, just because Protoss players were testing the greediness of how much they could get away with using that Mothership Core for early defense. I think it's still a really great build. You can do some really crazy, really fast 2 armor charge lot timings. And it's just nice to get ahead in those upgrades. The one thing that's a little tricky if you open the Forge so fast is always your scouting. Of course, you do have the option to use hallucinations as soon as your sentry has energy, but it's always nice to have those observers out in play as well. So lately I've seen more Protoss go for the fast Robo over the fast Forge.
Got the engineering bay going down here from Rossi. He's got 3 barracks, so it's not like we're seeing any crazy fast factories or any crazy fast Widow Mine or Hellbat drops from the Terran player. Of course, Whirlwind is a longer map, so you know, versus positions if they were closer by air, where that kind of a thing hits much faster. It makes a little bit of sense to see the Terran player do this. He's gonna scan. He's gonna spot that forge. He's gonna spot it being chrono boosted as well. So he's gonna have an idea of how much HwangSin is prioritizing the armor upgrade, or at least the early upgrades. But no mothership core here from HwangSin, at least as far as I've been seeing.
Yeah, there hasn't been one built yet. It's an interesting choice. It is kind of unusual to delay that long. But, you know, the one thing he's doing a very, very gas-heavy build. I think he's looking to do exactly maybe a store more charge lot timing. And the mothership core time warps can be nice, but also, you know, he really wants to get that tech going as fast as possible. Scouting everything that Rossi's up to. The one thing, Rossi did scout the forge, but he still hasn't tried to get his own upgrades yet. He got the eBay very fast, perhaps making sure he could reactively build a turret if he needed to defend against air player DTs, but no upgrades yet.
Interesting. Especially after, you know, scanning the forge, you'd think he'd try to start that right away.
Yeah, maybe even a second eBay to say, you know, I don't want to fall behind, or a third CC, something to compensate. But as it goes, he's just going to be progressing and just falling behind in upgrades with not too much strength of his own to mitigate that. Of course, as soon as medevacs come into play, you can do a lot of fancy micro to help. You know, you can often beat armies even with inferior upgrades if you can out-micro them. But you can see their +2 armor on the way. If HwangSin can get 2 armor before Rossi even gets a single attack upgrade, that could provide for a devastating time.
And of course, he's charged on the way as well. That's halfway from being complete, able to really close the distance with those zealots. So not only do you have +2 armor zealots that are pretty hard to kill with unupgraded marines as far as attack is concerned, but they're able to close the distance really fast obviously with the charge upgrade. Though this could be potentially approaching a danger zone here for Ross. The good news is Stim is about to finish. But I'm wondering on his progress of medevacs. There we go. 2 medevacs just now in production. So he's going to be able to have Stim and medevacs, but again, going up against +2 charge lots might be a pretty big challenge indeed. And HwangSin looks like he was posturing across the map, but it looks like he pulled back a little bit.
He was. Maybe just trying to scare Rossi a bit. I really like what Rossi's doing with all his scouting marines. Of course, he's making sure no probes can sneak in and build proxy pylons anywhere near his base, or at least he would see them coming. Maybe, of course, they could be escorted and still force that pylon up. But it really is going to make him aware of if HwangSin's putting on aggression. The problem is when HwangSin does decide to put on aggression, he's going to have some amazing upgrades to back it up. Rossi does have a little bit of a larger army right now, though, because he's been neglecting those upgrades, and he's adding more and more barracks. So he's going to be looking to really power a large army off of 2 bases, with starting a third now at the 10-minute mark. This is about a medium time third, not super late, not super early. Just kind of a normal spot. Oh, if he spots that observer and picks that off, that'd be nice.
That would be nice indeed. All right, he's going to run a sacrificial marine to his opponent's natural expansion, going to spot 5 sentries. And I think there are only like 2 zealots that were shown. Does HwangSin have any zealots that are hiding anywhere?
He doesn't have very many units right now.
Oh, wow.
He's been really spending. He has 6 zealots. Yeah, he has a few with stalkers to defend and drop in his main.
Okay.
Probably right around here.
Oh, there are the zealots. Oh, okay, yeah. I was wondering where the units were. Okay.
Pretty standard unit allocation from him, of course. We should see the photon overcharge. Oh, this is why you get the mothership earlier. He doesn't have photon overcharge yet.
He's still 10 energy away from getting that. That would be
really
so instrumental to have. He's probably going to bring his units back down from the natural to deal with this. Yeah, he has to. Deploying the Guardian Shield, coming forward with the Immortal. We got a great concave here from Rossi. He's up 109 to 81 in supply.
But the Protoss units aren't dying.
Oh, I forgot. He got +2 armor.
Yeah, what's happening? Nothing died. What?
Well, he lost like
3 units there. Oh, he lost 15 total.
Does Rossi have any upgrades on the +1 about? +1 about.
Yeah, he will have +1, but that whole battle was 2 armor versus that battle. There was equal upgrades out of the game.
So,
but
you StarCraft players at home, the importance of upgrades was pretty much just displayed right there. HwangSin
was totally out of position.
He
no
was.
Photon overcharge, half his units from the wrong
Rossi
place.
had a perfect concave.
Yeah.
Stim, medevacs. Gotta get those upgrades. All right, so HwangSin is going to counterattack, it looks like, but Ross is going to have the defender's advantage now.
And it's only 1 upgrade difference now.
Okay.
Actually, well, no, it's still 2 upgrade difference because HwangSin's 2-1 actually. So, but it's not as bad. It's not as bad to be behind in 1 of each upgrade as it is to be behind in 2 of the same, especially armor, because the way it scales. Basically, the way it works, Zealots have a base armor 1. Guardian Shield adds 2 extra damage reduction to range attacks, and then 2 additional armor upgrades means they get 5 less damage, right? A Marine's base damage is 6. So a Marine with no attack upgrades does 1 damage a hit to those Zealots. Fortunately now Rossi's Marines do 7 damage, but pretty soon he's going to get that 3rd armor upgrade. I don't know how Rossi... I mean, yes, he's ahead by 30 food, but I have a feeling HwangSin's army is just going to be too strong. And HwangSin's going double Robo Colossi What type of madness transition is this off with only 2 bases?
Yeah, I mean,
HwangSin loves his 2 bases, man.
he does. I feel like, you know, right when he shoved away that first push, that would have been a great time to take a third. But
Yeah, he could have definitely set up that third. Maybe he just likes 2-base play. I mean, actually, I do know from Wings of Liberty tournaments, that was his thing. Like, to see HwangSin take a third base was like a once-in-a-blue-moon opportunity.
Right.
It's not that his macro is bad. He just loves focusing on a lower probe count. We can see here, he stopped at 48. And that's intentional. It's not like, oh, he's forgetting to build probes. He's staying at a low probe count, and one of the theories of this is you can just get a tuner food army that's so strong, even if your opponent has a larger bank than you.
They'll just never die.
Yeah, you just never die, exactly.
But of course, the problem with that is if you lose even one unit, you know,
Yeah,
it's going to be
it's harder to replace.
Very hard to replace, because your economy is not going to be fantastic. Rossi is going to be checking on that third base, seeing nothing there. Has to be wondering, okay, what's going on? Did he scan the 2 robos?
Nope.
Okay.
If he did, I can assure you, he would not be getting 3 ghosts and 0 Vikings.
Good point.
This is not
Well
a good
played.
situation for Rossi.
Yeah.
He only has 2 Vikings. A little bit of a drop's going to come down here along the right side.
Yep.
Great observer coverage by HwangSin, but he's going to spot that coming before it is a problem. Rossi's content to deny to third base, but you know what? HwangSin's proven that he knows how to play on 2 bases, and with the Colossi count, 2, it'll be 4 in another half a minute. That's going to be very, very scary. I'm worried for Rossi.
All right, looks like we might have a skirmish in the middle of the map fairly soon. Rossi stimming it with the intentions to run, it seems. Here come the charges. The Stalker is going to be blinking forward. You got to ignite those afterburners. There we go. Getting those medevacs out from harm's way, trying to heal up some Marines and Marauders at the same time. Ghost coming forward. But are the Colossi in this army marching along?
There was 2.
Or is he gonna wait? Yeah,
and
so
he's waiting for 2
okay,
more.
he's waiting for 2 more in
There's
Thermal
2
Lance.
more that's they're just
Oh,
popping
boy.
out.
And there's no additional Vikings in production.
Yep. And so when he hits a 4 Colossi Tommy his upgrades are insane too. He has 5 total
Oh my
upgrades.
gosh.
Rossi has 2 total upgrades. So he's ahead by 3 different upgrades. Where'd the dropship go? Oh, here we go. Looking to deny to third base, but HwangSin has no intention to take a third base. Instead, he's going to push through the middle here.
I think he's going to be happy
there's
to
an
engage.
EMP. It stopped the guarding shield. That's a really big win for Rossi, but I don't know if it's enough with that many Colossi.
Ross is going to have a perfect engagement, going to try to kite away the Colossi, doing their damage from above the charge lots, trying to close the distance. No force fields available here, no storm either, so the bio can just kite all day long. That's exactly what they're doing, but the medevac's getting caught behind, igniting the afterburners, trying to catch up with the bio, and Ross is going to retreat to his natural
He
expansion.
traded actually decently there.
Yeah.
I was really impressed. Rossi had amazing control, and you know what? If HwangSin doesn't end the game soon, as Rossi catches up and upgrades, as he gets cloaked for the ghosts and starts to rebuild a Viking count, HwangSin could be in trouble. Oh, cannot lose those Vikings. This is so important.
Stalkers taking those out. Lost a couple Stalkers, but I think he's going to be fine with that. Time Warp going down from the Mothership for the Colossus, doing so much damage. You can't kite as well when your units don't move as fast, and HwangSin doing a ridiculous amount of damage here, but can Rossi hold this position?
Tight, this says HwangSin, and the bio is getting just destroyed by the Colossi beams.
Gosh.
Of course, the third base was denied by a drop, but it's still being a little bit annoying. But the main story is the fact that HwangSin's army will not be denied. Too many Colossi. I don't think he lost a single Colossi this entire game. The Vikings are always quickly taken out by those Blink Stalkers.
Wow.
Great control by HwangSin there, and Rossi just really wasn't prepared for a 5 Colossi massively upgraded army.
HwangSin again showing the power of 2-base play, up 117 to 96 supply. Rossi wondering, what should I have done? But I think again the story of this game might have been just how far behind he was in upgrades throughout. And when it gets to that situation where, again, your opponent has, you know, +2 armor and like +1 weapons and you have no upgrades started yet, it's going to be very difficult. But here we go, another engagement going to happen here. Rossi trying to make this work, but again, the Colossi remain strong. The Stalkers blinking up, and there's the GG. HwangSin takes victory in game number 1. Very well played. Of course, he's going to be 1 win away from advancing to the next round of this lower bracket of the WCS America qualifier. Of course, Rossi, if he loses another one, he'll be out of this tournament.
That's right, of course. This is the lower bracket. HwangSin and Rossi, both great players, but only one can continue to advance in this tournament. We'll find out which one it is coming up after a short break.